Educators these days are considered not just role models, but the ultimate go-getters. Mother is my biggest critique. I have it in me to make a mark for myself and stand out from the rest of the crowd.
Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Seema Chhoriya, and I welcome you all to another exciting episode of Great Principles. Today, we bring to you another celebrated figure from the world of Indian academia. We have with us today Dr. Prashant Vasudev from Patna East. It is said that the young neither shy of nor fear the challenges because they hold no perceptions and prejudices against any. And today we talk to a young gentleman who is a rising star in the world of Indian education. He has experienced school leadership firsthand within the four walls of his home, and so inspired was that he knew there was no other profession that would kindle the passion in him. Becoming an educationist was his sole dream, and he worked hard to join the noble profession like his parent and lead as an academician. Our guest today is Dr. Prashant Vasudev, founder principal at Delhi Public School, Patna East. Welcome to Great Principles, sir. It's an honor to have you, sir.
Thanks a lot. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you.
So, sir, as I mentioned to my viewers that you are the young principal and a young achiever. So here, sir, I would like to ask you, how did your parents become the source of inspiration for you to choose teaching as a career?
As you know, both my parents were in this line. They started off as educators. Both of them retired, of course, as school principals. So this was there in the family, and the kind of life they led with a lot of simplicity, contentment, uh, garnering the respect of one and all. I was convinced right from a very young age that this is where I would like to step into and lead a life filled with contentment, a lot of satisfaction. uh, I still remember I was in class 7 when my class teacher then asked this question to a few of the students in my class, and I was one of them. She asked me what would I like to become as I, was growing up. Without the iota of any doubt, I told her that I would like to follow the footsteps of my parents. Wouldn't mind commencing my career as an educator, and let's see from there, what happens. Initially she was a little skeptical, but she knew that at least I had it in me. I had all the credentials to make a good academician, because I was always in the top 3 in my school as well. So with the blessings of my teachers, good wishes of my well-wishers, I just gave wings to my aspirations right from a very young age, and God has been kind.
Wonderful, sir. What a journey you have, because many of us are not even clear what you want to do even after we are graduates. So knowing what you want to be at the age of 7 definitely means that you were truly, set to be a teacher.
Thank you.
Right. So going ahead, sir, you're very young to be where you have reached, and seems like your career has been the better half of your life. So now I would like to know, what is the secret behind your early success as an educator?
Well, a multitude of factors, I would say. Blessings of my parents, I would place that as number one on my list. Good wishes of my colleagues. And you know what? I have always been a good observer. Right from the time I started off as an academician, even before my B.Ed results came out, I was fortunate enough to have been absorbed in a very good school in Delhi. So I always had this knack of observing people around me, be it the people of my same age, be it a 5-year-old kid, be it the group D staff, be it the administrative staff. Why I'm mentioning this is this has played a quintessential role in my journey of success as an educator, because the world today is moving at such a fast pace that you get a mixed bag wherever you are, be it in the corporate sector or in the education field. you get to see or witness a mixed bag of both positives and negatives. And this observation skill of mine has stood me in good stead, primarily because I have been able to weed out the negative influences, courtesy whatever I have been observing. So I have imbibed only positive thought process, which accordingly gets reflected in my participative style of leadership. So what I'm trying to highlight is that gaining acceptance as a young principal from a mature lot of colleagues, from colleagues who are maybe 45 plus in terms of age, has never been a problem. So I would say my keen observation skills, along with the consultative style of leadership, has enabled me to perhaps taste success quite early in life.
Absolutely. So, whenever we are told that we have a principal in front of us, we all have the image of the gray-haired female or a male in front of us. So when we see a young person sitting on a chair, at times it's, oh, is this a principal? Is this a guy? So I'm sure you must have come across these questions. So how did you
Absolutely.
handle them?
You know, I just take those things as a kind of add-on to push myself beyond the limits, simply because you as long as you receive positive energy from people around you, the whole atmosphere, the whole environment around you stays positive. So there is no way that negativity can creep in and then you become stressed out or frustrated or demotivated or flabbergasted. So I keep negative influences away. It's a very simple thing to adopt if you possess the appropriate mindset. Of course, like mindedness always comes in handy, but then you can't expect everyone to cooperate in the same vein. Nevertheless, when the leader of the team is grounded, is willing to listen to the team members, give them their own space which they truly deserve, I think a lot of things automatically fall in place. That makes the task of the leader that much more easier. And my case has been no different. As I said, given the fact that I am soft spoken, and I ensure that I respect each and every individual team member for what he or she brings onto the table. Accordingly, that sets the ball rolling, and then there is no looking back.
Wonderful. So, you have shared just a very important message here that at times what gives us the setback is, what is this person talking about me? Why are people talking? And we just keep on thinking on that. And we leave the entire crux of what is going to matter. Is what people talk is going to matter us? So just leave that baggage there itself and be strong in your journey. And that is what makes you a good leader. Be an observant like sir and learn every day from your surroundings.
Absolutely.
Going ahead, sir. Yes. Going ahead, sir, Delhi Public School, the DPS, is a large chain of schools, and your association with DPS goes a long way. What are the reasons, as an educator like you, has been the leader of choice by such a renowned school brand?
Look, I have been fortunate enough to have commenced my teaching career from a fantastic organization called Chinmaya Vidyalaya in Vasant Vihar, New Delhi. It was just the perfect platform for a budding educator like me, full of energy, full of enthusiasm, at 21, to kind of elevate myself and give wings to my aspirations. Uh, an exciting story here. The principal of Chinmaya Vidyalaya happened to be my mother's favorite student, and her mother had taught me as well. So that was the connection, which kind of bonded, really well. Well, that paved the way for me to dream big. And I would say the year 2007 was the turning point in my life when I was fortunate enough to be absorbed in DPS Mathura Road in New Delhi, considered to be the mother of all public schools, because that's where the concept of public school in India originated from. So I would say,
Yeah.
again, excellent mentoring by my senior colleagues, exemplary grooming by my principals, beginning from Chinmaya Vidyalaya, New Delhi, as I said. And as far as DPS society is concerned, I feel the varied exposure, including the overseas stints that I have had, courtesy, DPS society sending me to UAE and then to Kuwait, it has helped. So each of the Delhi public schools that have, I have personally served or headed for that matter, have been unique yet different from one another. And as I said, every exposure teaches you certain things. You learn how to tackle challenges, you learn how to tide over adversities. And I would say, whatever I'm today, a lot of that credit goes to Delhi Public School Society for having kept the faith in me, and perhaps having handpicked me, right from a young age to taste leadership positions. So I remain ever grateful to Delhi Public School Society for whatever I have achieved till date.
So, leaders shine in the crowd. They make their own position, and that is how you're picked, I guess, because it's not about the opportunities. It's also about how hard you work for that, how hard you show that, yes, you are worthy of the opportunity given. So, that is what is there. Without hard work, there is no success. Whosoever is your mentor, or whosoever is the company you're working with, or the organization or schools, without hard work, there is no success. And I'm sure, sir, you must have worked really very hard for what you have achieved.
I would say a combination of hard work and smart work, because it can be pretty ruthless, particularly in core schools of DPS. Because unless and until you are at your very best all the time, you really can't be considered in that elite class or group. So you have to be alert. You have to be, a brave heart to face challenges of all types. And it's rightly said. One of my senior colleagues made a statement long ago when I was in DPS Mathura Road. In fact, he told me, "Look, Prashant, if you can fight it out here in DPS Mathura Road for 4 years, mark my words, you can work in any school anywhere in India or abroad, because life would have come a full circle for you in those 4 years." That statement still boomerangs, in my ears. I remember that statement very vividly even today. And he was spot on. As I said, a multitude of, exposure, be it in India or abroad, has helped me to, understand the various facets of school education. And well, I have gone with a blend of being ruthless, at the same time a little cautious as well. So out and out being ruthless, in my opinion, is not a good idea, because that might upset the sentiments of your team members, which is never a good idea. Because having done masters in business administration in HR, I do understand that it's never a good idea to invite the wrath of your team members. So it's equally important to keep them happy, in the right frame of mind, in order to get the best out for yourself and for your institution.
Absolutely, sir. So sir clearly narrates that you need to have all the qualities to be a good leader. It's not like you're working in a silos. You need to have teamwork. You need to be patient. You need to have smart working tactics. So everything is required, and sir is a combination of all. So going ahead, sir, you know, I have one more question for you here. What can a teacher do well to make a difference in the approach to towards better schooling?
See, educators these days are considered not just role models, but the ultimate go getters. So, in my opinion, the educator should become the ultimate go to person for his or her students. He or
Right.
she must know the pulse of each and every child, so much so that students consider him or her to be the perfect friend, philosopher, and guide. Most importantly, as I said, the educator himself or herself must be a go getter. Unless and until he or she himself or herself is a go getter, you cannot be a trend setter. If you want to be a trend setter amongst your students, you really need to walk that extra mile, maybe burn that midnight lamp for your students. Only then they'll look up to you, only then they'll worship you, only then they'll consider you as the perfect role model. So apart from grooming and mentoring that goes on a daily basis, it's quintessential, in my opinion, to be the go-getter. So that way, if you look at things, I don't consider the role played by an educator to be different from, say, what a corporate executive would be. Because these days, it's the world of cutthroat competition. You really need to set very high standards so that your students would emulate. Ordinary things simply don't work in this jet age. So educators need to be extraordinary in their thought process, in their planning, and of course in their execution, so as to bring the best out of their students.
Absolutely, sir. When parents enroll their biggest asset of their life, that is their children, into a school, they all dream that, the school should be able to bring out the best in my child. School should be able to show to the child that this is what you thought you are and this is what you can be. So that is what the parent think when they are, handing their biggest asset. And yes, very rightly said, the onus of this lies on the teachers, on the educators. So teachers are the one who awakens, they imbibe the love for the subject, even if you don't dislike the subject. If the teacher is great, I like the teacher, I'm going to love the subject. That is the attitude of a student also.
Correct.
So very rightly said by sir. So this is how the educator plays a very vital role in schooling. Going ahead, sir, the youngest principal award and many, many more. The term you as, the youngest to claim the fame, I would like to know, what was your parents' reaction when you received your first award?
This was long ago, I believe. I think I received an award when I was in UAE. I don't remember the name of that award though. But of course, yes, my parents were elated. But my mother is my biggest critique. So she told me very clearly that this is just the beginning and you have miles to go. So I'm just quoting her words. She told me to remain grounded, and continue to aspire, big. That's exactly what I've done, all my life. Yes, I have been the youngest recipient of numerous awards, as you mentioned correctly, but it's just the hunger to experiment, to innovate, to explore, novel concepts in the field of education. That is what keeps me going. Awards would automatically be an end result of your, good work, your hard work, your dedicated efforts that you put in as an educational leader. No doubt my parents were elated. My mother, as I said, she continues to tell me that you're still young and, you have miles to go. So I believe in that altogether.
Absolutely, sir. What I feel is when we relate our awards to the sports, when you win a district level, you aim to go to state and then to national, then to international. So I feel, yes, your good work is recognized and you have been awarded, you have been given recognition, but that is also a benchmark that now you have to go to level up. So that, I think, that is what your mother also meant there. So this is
Correct.
the beginning, and every award is like a benchmark you're setting up for yourself. So try and break that. So
True.
just to all my viewers, just to name few of the, there is a long, long list, but I would definitely like to share here few awards which sir has received. So here goes the first one: youngest principal to receive Dr. S. Radhakrishnan Memorial National Teacher Awards in September 2017. Youngest principal to be conferred the Global Leaders Foundation Award for Innovative Leaders. Youngest co-principal to be conferred by the University of South America, an initiative of Dr. S. Radhakrishnan Research and Development Center. Youngest advisory board member, cybercrime awareness panel of Delhi Police. Youngest principal to be made, the CBSC cluster head in Kuwait. Youngest principal to be conferred Avantika Samman, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan Award, conducted SCERT seminar for newly inducted PGTs at SKB Kalkazi, New Delhi. And there are like many, many more. These were just to name the few to tell you guys how sir has achieved in his journey and what all he has achieved. And the journey continues. As I said, it's just one benchmark that he has achieved, many more to go. So this brings to me to the very interesting segment of the show, which is called rapid fire round. And here goes the first question, sir. You have to answer in one word, maximum a sentence I might permit.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So
I'm
here
ready.
goes all right, great. So here goes the first question. Name your favorite travel destination.
Alibag, beautiful coastal town of Maharashtra, Alibag. I'm just addicted to that place. I keep visiting that place at least thrice a year.
All right. Next question, bowler or batsman? Who ruled the pitch?
I was an all-rounder when I played cricket, so all-rounders excite me.
All right. So this is the question that was purposely put because to all my viewers, sir is a great sportsman also. Going ahead, if you would not have chosen teaching, you would be a
I would have probably been in the media holding a mic in my hand because I am very good with my oratory skills. So perhaps, if not an educator, well, I really couldn't think of anything else. But yes, being a commerce person, one should keep plan B ready. So if not the field of teaching, perhaps I would have been in the field of media.
well, sir. Now the doors are open. With along with one profession, you can definitely come up with another one. You can pursue both together. So all the very best. We are going to look forward to seeing you on mic.
Thank
Right.
you. Thank you.
Going ahead, sir. What is a shopaholic's worst nightmare? And to all my viewers, sir is addicted to online shopping. So this question goes there.
At times what happens is the payment gateway fails to recognize the transaction. So and if you have been given a huge discount of sorts, so any failed transaction, courtesy the payment gateway technical issues kind of upsets me. So yeah, I mean, payment gateway failure is something which I really get perturbed with.
All right. So here goes the last question in this segment. A quote by your favorite writer.
I don't know who said this, but I believe in making the rest of my life the best of my life. I don't know who the
Wonderful.
who the who the author was, but then I truly admire these lines.
It was great to know you in this segment, sir. So going ahead, you know, I would like to know from you one fellow school leader who inspires you to rise and shine every day.
I won't call him a fellow school leader, but he is an inspiration to many school leaders like me. Uh, the greatest among them all, I would say, the legendary Padma Shri awardee, late Shri R.S. Lugani ji, the founder principal of Delhi Public School, R.K. Puram. Because anyone who is associated with Delhi Public School Society cannot think of a bigger name than the late Shri Ram Swarup Lugani ji. He was a legend. I had the fortune of spending little time with him, and I could learn a lot from him. In fact, I would say he gave me certain tips which I would remember till my last breath. So in my opinion, apart from my mother, who is my ultimate role model, uh, Padma Shri awardee Shri R.S. Lugani ji would forever be, my inspirational, fellow school leader whom I would always look up to.
So would you please share one or two tips which he has shared with you? It might help our other educators and leaders.
He was always considered to be an astute administrator. He used to devise strategies as per the need of the situation. So, two things, if I have to, tell you in terms of what he passed on to me. He was of the opinion that as a school leader, one should always uh, be aware in terms of what is happening around you. One should not lose sight or focus of the short term as well as the long term goals which a leader might set. So that's number one. Secondly, he again was of the opinion that it's almost impossible to please everyone, to keep everyone satisfied around you, but at least the leader can afford to stay calm and composed so that even when the situations turn turbulent or really tricky, you can at least use your uh, acumen and, of course, all those years of experience to tide you out of those difficult moments. So these are two things which I would always remember, as I said, till my last breath. Priceless advice, I would say, invaluable.
Absolutely, sir. Because given this time, the time when the entire education system was, just on a very big turbulence where everyone was just worried, what will happen now? Children are not going to come to school. That was the point. That was the time when leaders had to be, very calm. You had to guide their teachers well. And even teachers needed that patience. So very visionary leader, and the tips that he have shared even stands truth even today, and yes, for all the years to come ahead. Going ahead, sir, this brings to me to the last question of the show, which is also called viewer's choice question. So here goes this question. Not everyone appreciates the good work educators do to make society a better place. So here I would like to know from you, and our viewers would like to know, why is educator not under one branch of curriculum that suits all Indians alike?
Again, I would say a multitude of factors. See, different aspirations, differing skill sets, professional vis-a-vis vocational options these days, our own rigid mindset. I'll give you a simple example. Why should A denote Apple always? Why can't A mean aeroplane or airport or something else? So, the conditioning lacunas, I would say, become a major deterrent, in terms of India perhaps failing to bring, everything under a common platform. Having said that, the NEP guidelines that have been brought out is, in my opinion, a step in the right direction if appropriately implemented. If implemented, keeping the interests of even government schools into account. I don't know to what extent will the government be successful in doing all that, but at least the plan has been set in the right direction. And if we are smart enough as school leaders, as responsible managers, I think we can make a conscious effort to bring everything onto a common platform, so that the students, by the time they pass out of grade 12 in our Indians setup, so to speak of, at least they should be in a position to prepare themselves to tackle the challenges of life. If that happens, I think each and every school would have done their job. Instead of being in the rat race, if a student, say, passing out of Delhi Public School, Patna East, or any government school for that matter, is able to convince himself or herself that, yes, I have it in me to make a mark for myself and stand out from the rest of the crowd, I think the school would have done its job. It's not just the marks that matter. It's not just the results ultimately, that catapults you into a different league, but it's the mindset to prepare yourself to become a truly successful global citizen. If schools can work towards achieving this particular success mantra, I think NEP 2020 that way is perfectly planned. Execution is something which I'm very excited to witness in the coming years.
Absolutely. So, we all were waiting for this much needed introspection of our Indian education system, and NEP looks very promising. As you said rightly, implementation is the key. I don't know how it's going to be executed, because given the geography and the varied culture and varied learning strategies, I don't know how it's going to happen, but let's hope for the best. At least
Keeping
the
my
future
fingers
looks
crossed.
brighter. Yeah. Future looks brighter for our children ahead.
Right.
Right. So it was really an absolutely enriching session here, sir. So, you delighted us with your talk and inspired us in many ways. You may be young, but most certainly is wise, and your expertise and experience are refreshingly encouraging for all of us here, and to all my viewers. I'm sure of that.
Thank you so much, Seemaji, for giving me this platform. I remain thankful to you, and it has been a real pleasure talking to you. And if I'm able to inspire the budding educators to have a clear-cut uh, goal in front of them, I think you and me would have done our job.
Absolutely, sir. Because as you, at the very young age, you decided to take up teaching as a profession. Not many, our generation, young generation think like this.
It's a dying breed. Indeed, it is a dying breed.
Absolutely. So hopefully we are here to, inspire many to take up this noble profession and change the world ahead.
Right.
Right. All right. So thank you so much for your time, sir.